Well, race 3 has brought something very interesting, a torrential downpour here at Eastern Creek.
This is serious rain, serious wet weather. That Eastern Creek's not a sweet place in the wet. There's little rivers run across the circuit. This is going to test their skill.
Simonson will start from pole position, and if they get bored, they can always rip the rear wings off and do a bit of surfing. And have a look at the spray being launched off the back of the 430 GT3 Ferrari. Tough driving conditions, John.
Very, very tough. The downpour is amazing, and the circuit doesn't rain as well as some, and you know, it's pretty taxing stuff. Once you get in someone else's spray, it's almost impossible to see. We just saw Craig Baird get inside John Caius into turn 1. That'd be more experience than anything else, because the Aston's quite a good car in the wet.
Ash Samadi under pressure from Peter Lucas, who goes round the outside in turn 2. Ooh, getting tight.
That little Lotus is a nimble little car.
Lots of standing water out there on the circuit at the moment. There's Lily over the top of the crest. This battle with the Lotus, and Ash Samadi sitting right behind.
I have very fond memories of the Lamborghini in the wet. I raced it the first time at Phillip Island in the rain. It was an awesome car, and it's equipped with ABS as well as are the Ferraris, and it sort of allows, let me say, indiscretions that you wouldn't normally get away with.
John, V8 supercars, and of course, you know, open wheelers that are here this weekend are very different cars to drive in wet conditions. How do the GTs match up?
Well, the GT, my own experience with the GT in the wet was the Lamborghini at Phillip Island, but if you notice there, Craig Bair's on the outside. This circuit encourages an outside line in the wet. There is more grip on the outside of some of those corners than there is on the inside, so that's just experience. He knows it and he's using it.
Look at that river running across turn 9. These drivers tinkering on the edge of disaster as they try and put the power down. I don't think I've ever seen Craig Baird so loose on a circuit. Gives you an idea of how slippery it is out there.
Look at the amount of water those tyres pump out. It's just hundreds and hundreds of gallons.
Now, that will dry out the circuit if the rain does stop.
Well, you see the mist is spray. If the wind is blowing, of course it'll dry it out, but if the rain's still falling, there's nothing's going to dry that out.
Still very humid conditions here at Eastern Creek this weekend. John Caius tries to fend off from third spot and move forward, but just a matter of knowing the car under these conditions as Baird runs wide.
Yes, absolutely. That's taken the wide line to the extreme.
Well, he doesn't lose a spot, but he does put himself under pressure as John Caius is able to close the gap. And Anthony Caceres, what a great job by this team to get this car back out onto the circuit. John, I was just noticing a few of the drivers taking very different or almost experimental race lines out there.
Certainly, sometimes the grip on the outside of the corners, some of the corners anyway, is much greater than the inside, but not every corner. So it's a matter of trying to find the grip. It's very much like karting, and you'll notice any of the guys that have done karting in their life are much more used to this sort of thing. Sometimes you can run right out to the edge, as Alan Simonson does there, gets lots of grip, and other times you have to come into the apex. So it's kind of a game of chance, really. Good
example of understeer down in that previous turn from Alan Simonson's car. The wheels were at an angle, it was just going straight ahead.
Well, as I said before, the cars are fitted with ABS, so except the Aston Martin hasn't got the ABS, but the Ferrari and the Lamborghini, you can actually brake and turn the cars at the same time, which is really handy in the wet.
The Abcor machine sits back there in third spot, and I think he's starting to bridge that gap between he and Craig Baird, although it's just marginally. Lilly sits back there in fourth, then Lucas, he's doing a great job in the Lotus up in fifth. Ash Samadi behind him, then the Ferrari of Kelly, and the number 77 machine sits back there in the top 8, and Anthony Caceres, he'd have to be really happy with that, considering the end of race 2, there was every prospect.
Well, he nearly tore the front out of it, didn't he? So that was a great effort by the people that look after his car.
I don't think he'll be braking too late into a turn in these conditions, though.
Keep it going.